Hey, all! So I just saw the first episode of the Scream TV series, the pilot, and here's my thoughts on it. Now, as my other videos have stated, I am a massive horror fan. Massive horror. And my favorite horror series of all time is Nightmare on Elm Street. Second favorite is Leprechaun. It really is great. No matter what you think, you are wrong. But my third favorite series for horror has always been Scream. Because it has great characters, it's very smart, it's very clever, and it actually is a character drama. Each movie took the same characters and developed them more and had them grow more, and you don't see that in horror movies. So it's a very fresh series altogether, and I've been curious about the TV show, but of course on edge, because a lot of things looked alright about it, and a lot of things looked bad about it, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be great or crap or what, and I just saw the pilot, so here are my thoughts. So, cons. First of all, the big con that I noticed with the pilot is, now this might just be suffering the curse of the pilot. You know, the first episode is always the worst episode, I always say. Because in the first episode, they haven't really felt things out yet, and they don't really know what they want to do. But this first episode just took way too much from the original film Scream. It didn't really have its own thing. It didn't really do its own thing. It was just Scream all over again. A lot of the same scenes, only, toned down for a TV show and not done as big or as epic or as lavish as they were done in the film. Like, the opening kill is pretty much the opening scene of the first film, only way shorter and less interesting. So there wasn't really that much new brought to the table, and what really sucked is they didn't mention the events of the original films. Like, I knew there wasn't going to be the same characters or anything, but I'd like it if this at least took place in the same world and they referenced the original. At this point in time, you could claim that this is a remake and would be pretty much fitting, which is kind of sad, because I don't want to see a remake. Scream is fine the way it is. Give me a new story. So it just took way too much from the original. Now this is going to be a whole TV show, so sooner or later they're going to come up with fresh material. I know that, but the first episode sure didn't. The second thing that bugged me is, okay, there was a little bit of new material, but that was actually the second thing that bugged me, because a lot of the new material was serious topics. Like, it dabbed its fingers in some serious issues, and it half-butted it. It half-assed it. It did not actually take those serious issues seriously, and it did not handle them well. Like, for example, there's a subplot about this one girl caught making out on tape with another woman, and it gets put online, and she gets harassed online. And that's a big serious issue that really happens. Like, people have been harassed so bad through online harassment that they've contemplated suicide. Some even have committed suicide, especially in the LGBTQ community, which she kind of is. You don't really know, she hasn't come out of the closet yet. But to actually take on that in a show, that's a serious topic, because people have died over that crap, and it's very serious. And it's barely or hardly properly touched on. There's this one moment in the pilot where they said, yeah, the comments really got to me. They bothered me. And that's really it. And she seems kind of bugged about it. But there's no real rage or indication of how bad the harassment has gone, or indication of how it's actually impacting her, or anything like that. So it's there, but it's not really fully touched on. And one scene that really bugged me is one of her friends comes up to her. He's like, why didn't you tell me you were gay? Why did I have to learn from the internet? And she just shrugs that off and says, oh, whatever, I'm sorry, got out. She should have been ticked off by that. You don't go up to someone and say that when they're being harassed everywhere they go because of a stupid video. No, you're being a selfish dick if you say that kind of stuff. So she should have punched that guy's lights out. And the fact that she just shrugged it off just showed off how little the writers seem to get this issue. And that wasn't the only thing that they took on. They also took on a teacher sleeping with a student, which, in real life, the student would be likely underage and would be illegal and horrible ramifications, and the show made it look like a positive thing. So it's taking on these serious issues and it's half-assing it, and it doesn't know what it's talking about. And I found that kind of annoying. Those were the bad things. The good things is those were really the only two bad things. And you could ignore them if you haven't seen much of Scream, and I guess you're new to it. Because the killer is still kind of interesting. He's smart and he's combining from what little we've seen. There is a good mystery element. I think I already know who the killer is. It's Noah, the film geek of the show. He has so much motive, it's not even funny. He so totally did it. That's my bet, at least. So I do like the other elements. I do like how the killer is presented. I do like how he still seems clever. I do like the voice actor that they got for his voice that they introduced at the end of the episode. That was cool. And I do like the fact that the violence so far has not really held back. You know, it actually shows it. With a TV show, you're always afraid it's going to cut away. This does not, which is good. So I really think this might have been a case of a curse of a pilot, and I do think I'll have to see the next episode to find out. But it had a lot of problems, but hopefully they'll start treating their serious topics more seriously, and hopefully they come up with some more fresh material. And I really want to see more of the killer to have him properly fleshed out and become his own thing. So if those three things are achieved, I'm good. I'm sold. I can keep watching. But if not, then I am not sold. So this is me saying really unsure. Maybe I'll make comments when I see episode 2. I will find out. Cheers. I'll let you all know. It's really hard to, it's a really hard thing to feel out with this show, but yeah, I'll find out soon enough.